Hi guys, I'm Freeplay Frenchie, and this video is going to be a little bit different to my usual content. I'm going to try not to ramble, and I'm going to try and keep my points as close together as they can be. I'm going to cut and edit this anyway, but if there are pauses and stuff, I'm still getting used to my editing software, I'm still getting used to all that kind of stuff, so there might be some points that are a bit strange, but I will try to keep it as quick and as non-rambly as I can make it. So my country is undergoing a very big decision today. We're having an EU referendum, so we're voting everywhere across the country to see if we want to stay or remain in the EU. And as you can tell by the title, I am scared. I am. And I hope it's not, I hope people understand I'm not sitting here and being physically frightened, but I am very scared of the outcome. And I'm going to try not to get too political. I'm going to try and keep it just my thoughts, because at the end of the day, whoever's watching this has probably already voted in my country by now, and even maybe you didn't vote, that's fair enough. For a long time I was very pro don't even bother voting because our system's corrupt anyway, but today is important. The reason I'm scared is I'm just really scared for the outcome, because the Leave campaign has been huge in our country. It's been absolutely huge. I mean, the big thing they teach you when you're in school in politics is just how to be persuasive. It's just plain persuasive skills. You use your hands, you have an engaging voice, you look a certain way, and you connect to people in any way you can. Which for a lot of people who are disinterested in politics, you find something that pulls them in and you grab them and you make them focus on that. So for a large portion of the working class, their concern is immigration, because they have families who have trouble trying to get jobs and things like that, and they're looking for a culprit and they want someone to blame, and for a lot of people that's immigration. England is a very popular country. We have great benefits, we try and look after our people, and we do get a lot of immigration. I personally don't see that as a bad thing. I understand where it's coming from, and I'm going to try not to get too political. That's just one of the things that I'm worried about. I'm worried because if we leave, which we very well could, there's no going back. And I'm hoping today that a lot of the undecided undecided voters will kind of get cold feet. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to say obviously that I want us to remain, and I'm hoping that the undecided voters, when they come to it, think, oh, you know what, I'm fine as we are, let's just stay here, because people are scared of change. Most people are scared of change, that's just a fact, and they're scared of anything they don't understand, which is why we get violence and things like that across different countries, because we don't understand their culture, amongst other serious reasons. So I'm scared that we will do it. A lot of people will vote Leave without really understanding the circumstances and how they've been persuaded and what could happen to our economy. I mean, we've had institutes, the Financial Institute and economists say that if we leave, the poor will be poorer and the rich will be richer. That's the first thing that's going to happen. I don't know what's going to be. Maybe it is better for the long run. Maybe it is. In the future, maybe we'd be better independent. But all I know is that I'm against excluding people. And I know that's a very small, a very simple way to put it, but I'm for diversity, I'm for acceptance, and I'm for inclusion, not exclusion. And I watched a really persuasive video last night. It was an actress, if I can find it I'll link in the description. And she said that the EU was born because of the world wars, and they came out and they made the EU so that would never happen again. So we could have a peaceful world and a peace treaty, and we could talk amongst ourselves, and the leaders could meet, and we wouldn't have to bomb each other to discuss things. We could have that. And now the world has global issues. It's everywhere. It's not just Europe. But, with the EU, we can band together and we can say, let's talk about this huge issue. Things like deforestation and the environment and the fact that our planet is being destroyed. Things like that. And we can do that. If we leave the EU, we essentially close our door, we close the shutters, we sit in our house and we worry about our family and what's going on and have they done their chores and things like that, to use metaphors. Which is fine, and I understand that the EU has its own problems. Of course it does. It's not perfect. There's probably a lot of corruption, but the UK isn't perfect either. And unfortunately, I keep hearing arguments like, we need to be independent and then we need to be great again. Sounds a little bit like Trump. We need to sort out our own problems and be off on our own for a while. And it's like, if you're struggling and someone offers you a hand, most people who aren't full of pride will take that hand and will say, yes, I will have your help, have that hand and help. And I think, and things like as well, like the strain on the NHS and the strain on our house prices, which are astronomical, again, for people who don't know that. And the NHS is having a hard time, as it always is. People are saying that's due to immigration. That's due to our own bureaucratic system and the fact that, you know, property developers want money for themselves. Most of our issues are our issues and have very little to do with the EU. The other thing is, unfortunately, and I hope this doesn't tick too many people off, but just that I feel in some cases on both the Remain and the Leave sides, people are uneducated. They don't know, they don't care, they're not interested in politics, they don't want to get involved. And I say this because I was talking to two guys last night who wanted to leave, and they were my friends and we were just chatting, but one person thought it was 13 billion a week to stay in the EU, which it's not. It's 161 million when you cut it all the stuff down and you take out all the bits and pieces, and again, if I find the link I'll give you that as well. Somebody else thought it was 350 million, which are two figures that the Leave side have got out of like nowhere, and it's been proved that they're lying and that it's not true. But people don't hear that. They just hear, let's make Britain great again. We're gonna stop the flood that's coming, the immigration. What's worrying to me is that we have a refugee crisis. We have people who are genuinely scared for their lives and running from countries that are, you know, where they're being bombed and their houses are falling apart and things like that. And our response is to close our doors? Like, it's worrying. It's worrying, and it's sad, and it's scary. And I almost feel ashamed to be part of humanity sometimes, but also to be British, where we won't help people. They're running from their country. They have no other choice. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner, to be honest. I'm surprised it's taken this long for people to want to leave, but then surely that means that they didn't want to leave their country. They didn't want to leave their home. And we've said, you know what, no, there's too many of you. We don't really want more of you. And I'm not saying that immigration isn't a problem sometimes in some cases. I don't know enough about it. What I do know is that there are people in crisis, and our response is to say, not right now. We'll take a few of you, but not the rest of you, because, I don't know, you guys seem more important than the rest of you. Anyway. The other thing is, obviously once we leave, we leave. And that's why I'm hoping most people will want to stay today and just decide that where we are is good enough, and then we can just stay here. Because once we leave, I very much doubt they'll let us back in. I really do. 26 countries would have to say, yes, you can come back. It's just not going to happen. Not to mention, if we do leave, France is going to get rid of their sort of, something's going on at Calais, all the people that were trying to come over to the UK, they're going to cancel that, and just basically, if we vote to leave, they're going to give us all the people who are there in Calais, I think, or something like that. I didn't read it properly, my bad. But France would be ticked off with us anyway. The other thing that worries me a little bit is that if we do vote to remain and everyone stays, which part of me thinks we will, mostly because we have a Prime Minister who wants to remain and our whole system is corrupt. So, at the end of the day, maybe he'll just make it his own. Maybe he'll just be like, you know what, the votes have come in and everyone wants to leave Prime Minister. Yes, well, I'm just going to take that and put that in my pocket and actually, you know what, look at that, I've got a different piece of paper here saying that everyone wants to remain. That's that's basically what could happen. But the other thing that worries me is that if we do vote to remain, all these people who have suddenly become engaged in politics from the working class and, you know, teenagers who are actually getting involved and young people now who want to leave, that's a lot of angry people. And the Leave campaign was so good that it got all these people who wouldn't normally vote, who are now coming out to vote. I mean, it's been pushed back, our voting day, to today, because people wanted to register and there wasn't enough time and people were suddenly now getting engaged and interested. So if we do vote to remain, we're going to have a lot of people who are now angry, who disagree with what our decision was, and it's going to be very, very close. Anyway, it was like when we had our government election and we had a split. We basically had a Tory and a Liberal government because there wasn't enough people on either side. And it's going to be like this again. You know, 50% want to stay, 50% want to leave. It's going to be very, very close, which means a large majority of people are going to be pissed off. And I'm worried about the repercussions of that. I mean, unfortunately, hate seems to grow a little bit. It's kind of, I don't want to use the word flourishing, but it's around a lot. I keep seeing a lot of videos, sometimes in England, sometimes in America, but I've seen more in England lately of, you're a Muslim, go home, and this kid walking home and this person started shouting at him, and it's just, I don't know how people have forgotten to love one another. It's like we've forgotten we're all the same race. And just because they're from somewhere else, like, it doesn't make any difference. That could have been your brother, that could have been your sister or nephew or grandson or brother-in-law. And immigration is just, you know, one person was over there, now they're over there. And I think Russell Brand did a really wonderful skit on it, and he was like, stop moving, just stay on the rock where I can see you. People move all the time. It's not a big deal. Again, like, you can pick loads of plot holes and you can pick my speech rambling out and you can find different things I've said and it contradicting and whatever else, but I'm just talking. This is just my opinion for now. I haven't gone to vote yet. I'm going to go vote later, probably with my parents. But I had to get this out there because I don't even know what Britain will be like after the EU has finished, after this whole debate has gone and we go back to our lives. I don't think we can come back from it. I think there's going to be a lot of angry people, and I really, really hope that, you know, hate doesn't flourish and that we can just move on with our lives. And I'm not having, if we do leave, then fuck knows. Might as well go to Scotland. Might as well fucking leave for Scotland. I read a post recently that was like, the world in 2025 if we leave the EU. And it was bleak. 1.2 million Brits had left for Scotland. I think we'll move to Spain, to be honest. My parents love Spain. Probably go to Spain. Anyway, it's a big, big day for everyone in the UK today. Hopefully it'll be okay. Either side, I don't know which. Hopefully it'll work out. If maybe we'll leave and it'll be wonderful and I'll be completely wrong. Maybe we'll remain and things will get worse. Who knows? All I know is that things are changing. Not in a good way. And it's really, really important. Like, if you take one message away from this video, just be kind. Just be kind to each other. Just have a bit of understanding and a bit of thought and a bit of kindness. Just remember we're all one race. Like, we're all the same. It doesn't make a difference. You know, tortoise and meets another tortoise. One might have a bigger shell. They're still going to both be tortoises. Turtles and tortoises are not the same thing. That's one thing that gets me. When people call tortoises turtles. A turtle has fins. But anyway, I digress. I don't know. I don't think I'll get this up before the EU vote closes. If I do, go and vote. I probably won't though, so I guess we'll find out the result maybe later tonight, maybe tomorrow, and I'll do another video then on the result. Again, I'm sorry this hasn't been gamey related. I'm working on trying to say something about the Assassin's Creed movie. It's hard because I haven't seen it. Sorry about that, guys. My camera just because I had to do a little bit of faffing around. So yeah, if I'm just gonna sum up here, I would just say be cool and kind. Be cool and kind to each other. Be welcoming. Be nice to each other. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. I'm Free Play Frenchie.